Hello everybody, welcome back once again to the Final Fantasy 13 2 walkthrough. Alright, so I have a random little piece of video here with me capturing the Tezza, whatever the thing is called here. So that's one of the rare fights at the top, right, so that'd be the northeastern corner of Academia 500. And that's an interesting monster. It's got a... I think you can infuse auto Tetra Defense on somebody with it, if you want to do that. So it's an interesting monster. But anyways, alright, so I'm finishing out the Crysarium. So I do want to note one thing, and that's that I did screw up Sarah's. So unfortunately Sarah's stats are boned. So I ended up with a little bit more strength than she normally would have, but less magic. So that's really unfortunate because, you know, magic is her stat. So it didn't get messed up too bad, but I think it was like 2 videos ago. I recognized immediately when I did it too, when I was just, I was watching the footage, and it was obvious. So here's power. I'm actually just checking out Noel's stats. Noel ended up fine, so I obviously was building strength with him. And he ended up with 851. Now, again, her magic was messed up there, and just by equipping the I forget which weapon that's called, it was obvious that it was not right. So, anyways, moving on. So this is the Is this Raspital? Something like that. Raspital. I don't know. I think this is an achievement fight. I don't think you actually get a fragment for this guy, and this thing is just crazy looking. It almost looks like a combination of a bunch of the different Seath monsters. Yeah, this guy's wicked. Anyway, so this is just a kind of a random fight. Again, I don't actually think that this was a fragment, but I think I could be wrong on that. I don't want to. Jesus. I don't want to say that it's not for sure because I don't quite remember, but I feel like it isn't. But again, I do vaguely remember getting an achievement for beating him, so yeah. Anyways, so wow, it looks like this guy's chain gauge up there pretty quickly. Oh, that's right. Okay. So now that I'm kind of refamiliarizing myself with this fight, so it's obviously has summoned other Seath enemies, and I think it's pretty wise to chop them down as soon as you can. Now I'm going with Meteor. Okay, I went with Meteor Javelin. I don't know. So I guess that was probably fine. Kind of feel like maybe dropping a Deep Protect on him before that would have been better, but I'm not really sure. Anyways, the other thing with this fight, he's going to continually summon these other Seath, and one thing that I would say it's probably a good idea is to just, if you can afford to, keep hammering him once you've got his chain, or once his chain gauge is full. Just so you're not really wasting time. Kind of hacking down the other enemies while you've got his chain, or while he's his chain gauge is broken. So it can be tough juggling that, but it is what it is. And you'll just have to kind of deal. the timing might not work out well, but you just gotta do your thing. Now, one of the kind of bigger issues, I guess, with this fight actually is the wounds. I vaguely remember not having much left as far as maximum health at the end of this fight. So, again, the wounds really add up. And again, this is actually a pretty long fight. So, I'm sure I could have done some things better too, to just kind of cut through this guy, or cut the stuff down a little bit better, but I guess it kind of is what it is, and this is just kind of how it turned out. So again, this fight actually ends up taking a very long time. I think it's, I mean, mostly because he's got a ton of health. I probably could have done some other stuff too. Like I don't know if poison lands on him or not, but that would have been probably a good idea. It usually is for the enemies that have a lot of health. Again, I don't know if that actually lands on him or not, so that might not actually be a thing. You know, that might not be a legitimate strategy anyway. As far as like sentinels and stuff like that, I don't know. I didn't need one, so why bother, I guess? I did an okay job, it looks like, of kind of keeping my buffs up, sort of, not really. It looks like, you know, I don't really know what actually, I don't have a synergist monster, so that means no bravery, no faith. So, even, I mean, just looking at that, I could have done this a lot better. Maybe even some, you know, smarter accessories. So, Saint Amulet for Sarah, I think that's the one that, I mean, for one thing, it can get you a critical faith. And then the same with the bravery version, which I think is the hero's amulet for Null, probably would have been an okay idea. Again, and that's mostly because I don't have a synergist. I don't know that I'd be real worried about, you know, letting their health get into critical status. At least not at the beginning of the fight. Sure, towards the end, it's a little more risky, I guess. But you know, I don't know. I think it probably would have been a decent idea. Again, mostly because this fight does take so long. I just think that that probably would have been a decent idea. Now, the blue chocobo, the good thing about that one is I do still have auto haste on it. Or sorry, critical haste. And so if you notice, it actually has activated. It's absolutely, I feel like this is going to hurt. So this is probably a really, yeah. So that was a really good moment to bring in some sentinels instead. But I kind of just ate it, I guess. So I guess, you know, if you're looking for ideas on a better strategy, that's one of them. We weathered it fairly well, though, so, you know, what else? We did it. It does look like I am switching into a paradigm with Null buffing, at least doing defensive buffs, which is probably smart, maybe. I think a lot of times these buffs are falling off, though, so I could have definitely done a better job of actually keeping them up. Anyways, looks like I've got D-Shell landed on him, and I feel like that's happened quite a few times, so doing something right there. Alright, so unfortunately, here's a perfect example of me hitting that chain gauge, or maxing out that chain gauge, and unfortunately he had just summoned enemies. So now we're going to get beat on while, you know, I'm trying to drive that gauge up to 999%. So that was just unfortunate timing, and that's kind of going to happen, you know. Not much I can do about that. But as you can see there, oh, something got rid of my blue chocobo's buffs. There's that critical haste, though, really paying off again. It's activated quite a few times. I think that's at least 3 times now. Which, you know, again, normally in fights where you're just mowing everything down, that's not useful at all, but these tougher fights, it can really come in handy. I guess that's probably obvious now, but... Alright, so as was the plan, I, you know, tried to run out the time on that chain gauge and just hammer him while it was maxed out. Now, one of the other things that I could have done was had at least a paradigm with 2 commandos and a Ravager. You know, just to really capitalize on having that chain gauge maxed out. Now, the only problem with doing that is the commandos typically won't focus on the same target, that being the Raspital or whatever, you know, if there's multiple enemies. So, again, just because of the way that the timing worked out on the fight, you know, it probably wasn't the worst thing ever that I didn't have that paradigm set up. So, you know, just, I guess, food for thought. Again, this is just kind of a crummy fight for some of those, I don't know, strategies, I guess. Anyways, all right, so let's take this guy out. Ironically, I still feel like I'm pretty healthy right now, and at the end of this, I don't know, I remember feeling pretty uncomfortable that, you know, my maximum health was getting extremely low. So, one of the other things that, you know, if you're worried about that, or if you're just a little bit underdeveloped and you think wounds might be an issue, you can try the I think it's the Blood Guard accessory. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's the one, but it should reduce your wounds. So again, something to think about. Other than that, you know, I think we just need to keep pounding them. I think. Oh, here is. What is that? I didn't catch the name of that ability, but it's probably not gonna feel good. Okay. Oh, man. So that was an absolute must to be in Tortoise, if you'll notice. Basically, everybody survived with almost nothing. Which, you know, that's kind of what's going to happen when our maximum health is probably halved at this point. And, still trying to recover there. I've got Sarah as my medic, which is, I don't know, a little strange, I guess. To be honest, this paradigm pack was really messed up. That green chocobo was kind of garbage. It wasn't, I don't even think it was fully developed. Same with that silver chocobo. I don't think I leveled that at all. Actually, I know I didn't. So that's its base stats. So I brought it in, you know, for Tortoise with its base stats. And yeah, I mean, it worked out, I guess. You know, but again, I could have probably done things a little bit better. Not really sure why I went with the Feral Link there. I guess I was trying to keep him at 999% longer or something. I don't know, that's the only thing I can think of. But so anyways, as you can tell here, with our HP getting dangerously low, things aren't looking that great. I definitely did pull this off though, but again, I just think there was a ton of stuff that I could have done a lot better here. Again, you know, staying on top of debuffing him as well as actual offensive buffs for me would have gone a long ways. Unfortunately, I just didn't. I didn't have a good monster synergist leveled at this point. Is that Elif 0? I don't know. This doesn't seem like it makes any sense to me. So it's a strangely named skill. And there we go. Tortoise survived it again. Again, with almost nothing left for health. So hopefully that's the last time we'll see that. And here's where disaster strikes. I was having some issues with my controller not staying connected. I actually am running it's the USB. I don't know. Just it's not a fully wired controller, but it's one of those goofy ones that's got the like battery pack that can charge, which is, you know, garbage now and doesn't actually really charge well. But anyways, that was you know, that didn't feel great. We're, you know, whatever, 15 minutes, well, not quite 15 minutes into this fight, and having the controller disconnect there felt bad. I guess luckily he didn't use his Elf Zero or whatever and, you know, kind of just wipe me out with one shot because I'm not able to go back to Tortoise. So again, things, you know, could have been worse, I guess. So here, obviously, we've got another monster out while our chain gauge is, you know, pretty much maxed out. But it looks like this is going to do it. Should be the last stagger. There it is. Alright, so there he's down. Now we just got to clean up this guy, which is, you know, going to happen rather quickly. But as you can see, it was a touch-and-go fight timing, or from here to there, you know. There it is, Fair Fighter. So I don't know what Fair Fighter, I think that's just for killing him. But I did get a 5-star rating, so that's something. And what did I get there? What was it, like 3 Scarletites or something like that? I don't remember what those are for off the top of my head. Usually it would be for, you know, either weapon upgrades or sometimes accessory upgrades. But anyways, alright, so we're going to head to Sunleth. I am going to rewind this gate and try to get the, I think it's the fragment for it. So in order to do that, you need to just rewind the gate. I don't think you need to have the paradox scope or whatever that thing is called activated. So it's a fragment skill that you get when you beat the game, but I don't think it needs to be activated for this. So basically the way this works is there's almost a couple of different, like, I don't know, I guess I'm just going to call them mini endings. And they have to do with, maybe it's obvious, the different areas in the game. Obviously, we're going to start here with Sunleth. I don't know if this is the easiest one, but maybe.
The joy is ephemeral. It leaves fear in its wake. A fear that all too soon the time will come when you must bid farewell again. Yet you cannot help but long for the next encounter. Humanity's great frailty. We prefer past happiness to future uncertainty.
Was it vision? Does Sarah have the same power as you? But why? Why did she react the way she did?
Okay, so this probably looks familiar, and it should. Wow. Obviously, we've just reversed the events that took place here. So this is, again, you know, it's basically like coming here for the first time. Okay, so this is, I don't know, what is this, technically round 2 of the Royal Ripeness? Something like that, sort of.
Get close, I'll cover you. Don't be a fool. Come on, trust me.
I don't know why, but I think that just looks really cool. I don't know. Yeah, that wasn't too bad, to be honest. Yeah, anyways, yeah, we're just gonna crush this, the first version of him. Just like you'd expect, I guess.
This jelly bean's ticking me off. Come on, all together. Now, with you. Yeah, do it. See if you like this. Sarah, shoot!
Got it!
Yeah!
Do it, okay. Alright, anyway. Skip that. Skip that too. Again, we've already seen this stuff, so I'm not real concerned about the cutscenes. Okay, defeat the giant Flan. Now, again, normally, you know, storyline-wise, we would go to the Archild step, but not this time.
You follow him straight to the ark.
It could happen.
Where's the artifact? You mean the one that we've already got?
No, we can't win this. Not now.
Noel looks like he's up for it. I say we give it a shot and see what happens, huh?
Yes, of course, let's fight his royal ripeness. Alright. Let's do it. Anyways, so strategy-wise, again, I don't know that I'm going to talk much about it. Okay, how about this? Your strategy is to max out your characters and then just wreck him, because he's actually pretty easy. I think that buffing actually is pointless. I was able to completely destroy him and not even heal myself when I did this on like subsequent tries, because I actually farmed Royal Ripeness for a little while for Vitality Crystals, which is, I don't want to say it's the only place, because I don't actually think it is. I think you can get Vitality Crystals from, man, I want to say Atlas, but I guess don't take my word on it. Be skeptical, because I'm skeptical of myself on that. I would say that this is the best way, though, just because it's so fast and easy. The great thing about this is once you beat him, if you keep the gate like reversed or whatever, or closed, however you want to say that, you can actually just fight him over and over and over, back to back, and you don't have to do that first fight where you know, you do the whole cutscene and stuff. So again, if you just want to farm Vitality Crystals, this is the way to do it by far. It's amazing. And again, I could beat him without even healing, so I just, you know, crushed him. So anyways, there they are, Vitality Crystals. And we've got a cutscene now, so I will not talk over it.
It was a world that belonged to the Flan. A Flan-controlled, Flan-friendly, and Flan-approved kingdom. Sarah and Noel once defeated a massive Flan, but the act triggered a paradoxical backlash and filled the breadth of Cocoon with gelatinous organisms. From among them rose the most powerful Flan to ever exist. The entire world quailed beneath its tyrannical pseudopod. Would all of Cocoon be devoured by this immense Flan potentate?
Alright, I lied. Now is the cutscene. Sorry. I didn't want to speak over the narrator there.
Once upon a time, in a faraway land, there was a giant forest, Kubao. There was plenty of water in the vibrant woods, and all the monsters lived happily together, Kubao. The monsters loved to test their strength, and sometimes their games got a little rough. But even so, they all got along fairly well, Kubao. One bright and sunny day, a mean Flan came along and declared himself to be the king of the forest, Kubao. The Flan stood as high as the clouds in the sky, so none of the monsters disobeyed him, Kubao. The king ordered his royal subjects to shower him with gifts from all corners of the world, Kubao. In return, he promised to banish humans from their domain, and he would create a kingdom where monsters ruled the land, Kubao.
I told you we'd just be able to sneak in. Hey, Sarah, how do I look? Just like a monster?
The transformation spell worked like a charm. No one can tell who we are. Mog, now we'll need the Wonder Honey. Can you go find some? Kubao, off you go!
Hurry!
The king was even bigger than the giant Flan we defeated in the past, Kubao. So we all came up with a marvelous plan, Kubao. We would transform into monsters and sneak in unsuspectedly. Then we would present the king with a delicious Flan, Kubao, and he would say, "Incredible!" and then he would keel over and die on the spot. We're going to serve up a dish of poison flan to His Royal Highness. Fight flan with flan, as they say. It's a flawless plan, Kubo.
Hey, what's taking so long? Where's that wonder honey? We also need some hoax herb and exquisite sugar, you know. And don't forget the rotten cheese.
Why do I have to do all the work, Kubo? Noel, you're going to be the first to get a taste of my poison flan, Kubo!
Alright, so there you have it, the 10,000 CP, which at this point, who cares? But that is our first, I believe, Paradox ending, and here they even give you a little bit of an entry in the primer for it. So, again, there's a couple of these, and we're going to knock them out one after the other, so stay tuned. As always, hope the guide was helpful, and thanks for watching.